Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. And I'm here today to talk to you about Sister Season 3 Episode 7 Halloween. So I love Sister growing up, but when it went to the WB, I particularly didn't like it when they was in college. It just lost that feel to it. I don't know, man. It's just whenever these sitcoms have like young stars, kids, children and stuff, whenever their characters go off to college, they just lose something. Like they're no longer fun. And like you really don't get to see the parents that much, or sometimes you do. But it just never feels right. Like sometimes you either don't see the parents or you don't see the college student and stuff. Then something happens when they drop out of school and they come back. That's the typical formula of sitcoms. But like, when Sister was on ABC, it was so good. It was so funny. And the weird thing about this episode is there's little to do with Halloween, even though it's a Halloween episode. It's very similar to what happened in their Thanksgiving episode. It really had nothing to do with Thanksgiving. And so in this episode, it pretty much just starts off with T and Tamara in their Halloween costumes, both talking about how they're having the best costume ever, breaking the fourth wall, but realize they're dressed absolutely the same as Fink fairies. Fink. Pink fairies. Where's my mind tonight? Pink fairies. So they're really pissed about that. But they look really cute in their outfits though. Now this season is back when they had curly hair, before the studio made them straighten it because they wanted them to appeal more to that of a white audience. Well, even though the girls look black, they're half white, so half of them is appealing to the white audience. So there was no need for them to straighten their hair. Studio ABC. So anyways, Ray dampers that of Tamara's like Halloween plan. She's supposed to go to like a rave party. But Ray says she's grounded. Reason being is because last year, off screen, she went and hung out with some kids on a bridge and threw eggs and stuff. So, needless to say, she's not allowed to go. And so, when she tries to like weasel her way into going with Lisa, she tells her about, how Tamara's going, this and that. And Lisa's all like, oh, well, then fine. Y'all both aren't going. Because she said her daughter is not going to some rave party for some kids she don't know, who parents she's never met, and in an area of town she's never been in. Which, is like the safe thing. Like, you just don't want your kids just going anywhere, you know what I'm saying? So, Ray has, like, this party he's going to, a Halloween party on a yacht. And he gets to bring a guest. Lisa wants to come. But Lisa tells him, if it's a Halloween party, you have to dress up. So she has an outfit for him to wear that used to belong to her cousin. So to get down with this, the Herman finish their story arc. Basically, when he goes there, he is the only person dressed in the Halloween costume. He's dressed as a giant white bunny. I feel this man's pain. One night when I was in college, a friend of mine invited me to her dorm to like a Halloween party to watch some movies. I'm like, sure, fine. I'm thinking to myself, okay, some other people going. It has to be like a Halloween party. I dress up in a Halloween costume. I'm the only freaking one in a costume. Thankfully, though, my costume is more like a cloak. So I had clothes on underneath, so I just changed into that. Boy, that was a weird time. Like, I met like one of her friends, and her friend was dating this guy for like the first time. The dude was weird. Like, he kept talking about like the Punisher, like the Marvel character, the Punisher. And anytime you bring it up, he'll be all like, do you like the Punisher? Like, he literally just said that in my ear, whispering to him. I'm like, oh my God, dude, what's wrong with you? And that night is actually the night I found out about the monkey from Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. I didn't know there was an end credit scene, because I'm all like, well, how the heck did what's his name get cursed in the second movie? She's like, didn't you see the end credit scene in the first one? I'm like, what? So anyway, Tia and Tamara are watching a horror movie, and Tia is like terrified. Tia was always my favorite. I always liked the smart twin. And so like two of their friends come over, Steve and Denise. Now, Steve is played by an actor named Steve, and this dude has been in like everything. He's been in Miss Congeniality, he's been in Charmed, he's been in what's that one high school graduation party movie? All about something. It's the one with Jennifer Love Hewitt, where she plays the hot girl who's irresistible when she walks in, like her hair is blowing in slow motion, and this dude is like so in love with her and everything. It's like a party movie with a star-studded cast. What is that movie called? I want to say All About You. I don't know if it is or not, but they spoofed it in Not Another Teen Movie. Anyways, he's been in pretty much every teen type of like movie or a television show, comedy, drama, whatever, from past to present. Even some newer stuff in like Disney Channel stuff. That dude has literally been in everything. When he was in Charmed, he got turned into a pig. And so it's him and their friend Denise. Now I forget Denise's first, the actress name, but she quit acting around 2000 and went to law school, became a defense lawyer. Now, this November, I believe in California, she's running for like Supreme Court judge or something like that. I'm like, holy crap, she's moving on up. And she barely said anything in this episode, but both these two characters have appeared several times in the series. And so, like, at some point, before they came over, some trick or treaters came over, got them with silly strings, stuff like that. I also got Denise and Steve. Well, Denise and Steve are like, we want to go to this rave party. And so Tamara convinces Tia to take her dad's new, what is it, a Porsche, I think? It's a really fancy car. I can't remember what kind it is, but it's convertible. So in a way, they're there, they're driving, they're going to the party, and so like, and like nobody's there. The house is completely empty, and Roger's there, and so they're all like, "What happened?" They're all like, the dude's dad came home, had a cow, and they had to move the raid party to another house. And so he's not sure what house it is, but he thinks it's down like somewhere in this other part of town. So they go there. Needless to say, it's an interesting, hilarious episode. Oh wait, I never got through with Ray in them yet. So anyway, he's at the yacht party. He's miserable until a woman hits on him, and then he starts having a good time, making a bunch of jokes and like all this other stuff. And he gets a nice little deal with the hotel dude and stuff. And so that pretty much ends that story arc. Anyways, back to everybody else. So they're driving around, they're lost. Somehow they end up in Canada, the borderline of Canada. I'm all like, where is this episode taking us? But then some dude comes around the corner and is all like, oh, that street, I know what street you're talking about. Yeah, normally I don't get in cars with strangers, but you look like good kids. And he hops in the car and they take him back to America. I'm kind of like, what the world? They let a complete stranger in the car and they're not even freaking out. Basically, he's a smuggler. He smuggled Cuban cigars into America. And so, like, what is it? So they drop him off where he needs to go, but he lied about what street they have to go to. So they're still driving around. But he gave Roger and Steve 2 cigars. Steve is smoking it in the car. And I'm thinking to myself, the smoke has to be like, staining like inside the car and like the scent in there. So the dad's gonna get pissed. So they're driving around, not sure where they're going. And Tia is all like, oh, I recognize this street. So she turns on, but Tamara's like, no. I still can't believe they let that dude in the car. But anyway, they turn on the street where people are partying in the street. Oh boy. And so like Steve is sick and he throws up from the cigar inside the car. Anyways, Towards the end, they get back home. They're just like, screw the raid party. We can't find the house. As soon as they go into the house, Steve and Denise help them clean out the car, right? And so when they go into the house, somebody's in their house. It's a guy named Ernie. Ernie was the dude who was supposed to host the raid party. Their house inside is completely trashed. He moved it to their house since it was empty. I kind of had a feeling he would do that. He's played three different characters in this show. But he was also the teacher in Lizzie McGuire, the black teacher with the glasses, who was always there. So anyway, T is all like, clean this house like you never cleaned before. So they clean up before like Ray and Lisa get back, right? And so they're all in the clear and won't get in trouble until Ray turns on the news. They're recording what happened downtown, and they see the big like people partying in the street. Lisa recognizes the license plate of Ray's car. And then they see Tamara tug a warning out with a woman for the license plate. Then she's like waving to the camera. Needless to say, they are beyond grounded. Oh, man, I tell you, this show takes me back. You just never knew what you were going to get with this show, you know? It's on Pluto. I think it's still on Hulu. You can watch it. They have it out on DVD, like the entire series on two different, completely different looking box set DVDs. Get the one that's like really, really thick and big. It's a little bit more money, but your DVDs are less likely to get scratched up than in the other one they got. That wasn't that spooky. All right, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.